Pacific time. And today is like every other week. We are live, going to hang out with you guys. Last week, I installed some battery cables on live. And this week, I'm back to just chatting with my folks. Currently, I need to go and do what I always do when I think about it. And that is post the link over to Instagram. So give me just a second. It's going to pause. We'll be right back. Hanging out live on the YouTube. And yeah, what did I do for excursion stuff this week? Well, let's see. We broke the internet last week because we started talking about how nobody makes a vehicle comparable to the Ford Excursion nowadays. And people always give me crap about driving a 20-year-old vehicle with that many miles, doing all the things that I do, and I just don't know what I'm supposed to replace it with. And I'm not going to replace it. That's not a big deal. Don't worry. Sorry, I'm moving stuff around. I got my power cord from my phone back there, and it was being annoying. So I fixed the annoyance, and now I'm here. Whoever just came on and watched and hit the like button immediately, that is awesome. You're looking at the world's first bobbed Excursion. It's also on 40s. It is coil swapped, boat-sided, I don't know. I chopped the bottom of the doors off and put rock sliders in there. It is probably the first dedicated excursion rock crawler in the world. You can sleep in the back of it, and it does pretty darn well off-road. Hunter Love, what is up, my friend? Hunter, did you see that I posted everything, the exact days and everything, in the Stan store? If you want to get direct access to me and a community of other like-minded excursion folks, you should subscribe to the Stan store, stan.store/geeks4x4, and there's a community in there, and it's a good time. It's a really fun time. Hunter's in there, and Hunter's also a member on this channel, so he's got the whole deal set up. So did you get all those trails, Hunter? Are we hanging out all week? I figure we'll do stuff on the other days too. But you're going to try and have, like, 2 rigs down there, so I don't know if I want to reel with a big truck. I mean, that's lame. Just kidding. Sounds fun. But yeah, we're talking about Trail Hero, which is actually not the next event. August, man, I think it's the 22nd. It must not be the 22nd. In August, we are going to do a hang at my house. So if you are kind of local to Pacific Northwest, go on to Facebook and go to the events tab on Facebook. And then you can come and do all the stuff. Armando, what is up? But yeah, so if you want to hang and you're in the Pacific Northwest, we're going to do like a barbecue and excursion hangout at my house. Just keep the hangouts going. And if you're close enough to drive for the day, you should come. If you're too far to drive for the day, this isn't the type of event you should just run 18 hours of driving for. But up to you. Let me know. Okay. Immediately had to remove somebody. Don't even know what happened last week because I wasn't monitoring the comments at all. And so, yeah, I did. Somebody gave a bunch of money that I didn't see, so that was really cool. So whoever that was, I super appreciate it. I don't know how anything happened. And yeah, that was just a great thing to end the stream and see that it had a bunch of money donated to it. So that was super cool. If you're in here and you haven't hit the like button, I would super appreciate that. Hunter, I figured it was you. I just wasn't sure. So thanks, man. That was hilarious because I didn't see it at all. And so I'm like, what? There's a bunch of money that I didn't even see. So super appreciate that. That is, you are extremely generous, my friend. I appreciate it. And I'm just glad I get to know people like you and get to help and chat and do all the stuff with dudes like you too because of these excursions. So it's pretty cool. If you don't know, my name is Bryce. I am the Ford Excursion guy on the internet. So do you remember that huge SUV that Ford produced in the early 2000s? And you probably grew up in the back of one of them, or your friend had one, or that was the coolest mom in the neighborhood because that was the coolest thing. And I just super appreciate. Yeah, so anyway, so the Ford Excursion, I am the guy that if you're looking for information or how to fix the stupid door locks that are broken after 20 years, or how to find your door code, or how to lift it and do dumb rock crawling stuff with it, that's what I do, and that's what this channel is about. A lot of people have been finding it. We had a crazy video on TikTok. Got over 1 million views on TikTok the last couple weeks. That is pretty insane. So just really grateful that this thing is growing and doing the deal. So yeah, Noah Bridges, what is up? Hunter, that's hilarious because I didn't, it like didn't even come through because I do think it said $5 when I said bye. I don't know. I have no idea. Battery cables are in the 7.3 though. It is slick. Those are absolutely awesome. Bacon Scooby Snacks. You look like you'd be trusted around farm animals. Can't be trusted. Wow. What a random assumption for the day. Well, thank you for that comment. Appreciate the heck out of it. Noah Bridges. My day is awesome. Just sitting here, looking forward to talking to some people about the Ford Excursion stuff today. Every week I go live and we talk about Ford Excursions and answer some questions and just basically hang out with my people, guys that are working on their excursions or just enjoying the heck out of them. Power Stroke is better. What is up? Welcome to the live. I am here. I am staring at the camera this time. And if you're in here and you're commenting, you need to hit the like button. I mean, it's for 2 seconds of your time, it gives me more of these, and that's just stellar. Hey, that's okay. Power Stroke is better. I missed the last couple weeks, and then last week I was installing a battery cable kit in my 7.3, so I wouldn't have known if you were here last week anyway. Just a couple people were with me, like watching in and out. It was, I hope it was somewhat entertaining. I was like yelling at the camera. We were listening to No Shoes Radio. It was a great time. I was putting monster, big old battery cables on the old 7.3, so pretty cool. Barack Obama says he's going to pay me $25 to do a burnout. Yeah, well, he doesn't know about a V10 Excursion with 40s. It doesn't do burnouts. So, thanks, though. Nice. Nice, Hunter. That is great. Why are you driving the white Excursion right now? I thought you commuted in the 6-liter. You're now commuting in the better, you know, V10. Army user, I don't know. Hello, everybody. What is up? What is up? What is up? Thanks for hitting the like button, guys. Appreciate that. What is your first memory or the first thing that pops to mind when you hear the Ford Excursion? Let's hear that in the comments. Comment that below. First thing that pops to mind when you hear the Ford Excursion. Let's talk about the hate that you might have, the love that you might have, the great memories, all that stuff. Put them in the comments. Let's start talking about the Excursion here, folks. Ford Excursion was produced from 2000 to 2005. It looks similar to the one behind me, but this one's a little wrong because I've done a lot of work that's a lot right, but it's wrong. And yeah, so what is your first thought of? Crandices says gas guzzler, and you know, you're not completely wrong, but they do get better fuel economy than a lot of people thought. Like a stock V10 with stock tires and stuff would get like 14 on the highway, and the diesels were, my diesel that's out back has averaged 17 for a lot of its life, 16, 17. And that's not too terrible. If you look at the 2000s vehicles, was not any worse than a Suburban. Especially the 8.1 Suburban is actually better than that. So, oh, you got a new 5500 Ram. Does it ride like an absolute, I don't know, square tire like every other Ram? Or is it heavy enough and big enough that it can actually ride decent? The pickup that we have at work and another guy is now driving that thing every day, and it's like it has to be the worst riding vehicle I've ever driven. It's a 2500 with the Hemi, and I don't think the motor's heavy enough, and even if you weigh the back down, it still rides like crap. It's kind of insane. So I will not be buying a Ram, which obviously you didn't buy it, so that's even better. The best way to be. So yeah, Crandy's first impression of the Excursion was gas guzzler. Talked about that. Little, you know. Says there's an Excursion for sale up the road for me. Been there about 6 months, thinking about making an offer. What's a typical price point these days to shoot for? Crandy's, I need to know what engine's in it and how many miles, because that varies the price a lot. If it's a V10, and it's got like 100,000 miles or under, or like under 180, it should be under 10 grand. It should be under 8 grand if you were to ask me. But yeah. Yeah, Hunter. That sounds better than the other one. I don't know. As the Explorer, did you have a newer Explorer? But yeah, Crandy's. What engine's in it? Is it 4-wheel drive? All that stuff. If it's a 7.3 and it has 300 or so, right around 300,000. Yeah, you should go stop by. If it's a 7.3 and it has right around 300 on it, and 300 and over, those are going for like low teens. And if it has lower miles than that, the price goes up. Like, I sold a friend's that had 140 on it, and it went on Bring a Trailer for 26, I think it went for. So, and I think it was worth every penny. Because what are you going to buy? What new vehicle are you going to buy? Just like I went through in that reel. What new vehicle are you going to buy that could possibly replace a 7.3 Excursion? And the answer is none. 0. Oh, nice, Hunter. Yeah, the new Explorers are pretty nice. Yeah, they're not bad. I have the small one, essentially, with the Edge. Oh, that's awesome, Crandy's. I would love to hear about that truck. Where are you located? Is it going to be a rust-free? That's the other thing. The rust has a massive... there's just so many factors, right, to pricing them. But the rust has a pretty big impact, too. Like, if it's a 7.3 and it's pretty rusty, like, it should be a lot cheaper. Because the rust fix is going to be expensive. Because it's down in the bottom of the rockers, and you got to get new pieces and body work, and... it ain't cheap to fix the rust in these trucks. But if the rest of it's pretty clean and you can get it for a good enough deal that you just plan to take it in and get it fixed, that's not terrible. But I don't like buying stuff that's rusty that I want to fix. I bought this with a little bit of rust on it with the intention of cutting it and doing everything that I did to it. That dent right there, that one, was there when I bought it. I purposely wanted dents and scratches and all the stuff because I knew I would feel a lot better about doing what I was going to do with this truck if it was already dented and scratched. So this one was a great find for me. I paid $3 for this. It's a V10. It had 213, 214 on it. It doesn't have that anymore. I put quite a bit of miles on it. It doesn't go that often, but like 1 or 2 months a year, it gets 5,000+ miles on it in that time period. So yeah, I don't know. Yeah. So I'm gonna do the meetup at my house. I gotta look. I'm gonna pause you guys for a second. So August 22nd, 2027. That is Saturday. We are going to have an all-day hang at the Geeks 4x4 garage, right here, in this garage. If you got a little project that you want to do and have my help with, that we can just knock out in a day, or in an hour, I don't want to do big projects. I'm happy to help. And other owners and stuff can come around and be a peanut gallery. And I will instruct you on how to do it and help you through it, which is how I like to have people in my garage. You don't just get me to do something. I need you to work on it a little bit. And I would rather teach you to do it, because then you can do it next time. So something wiring like a switch pod, or I don't know, something like that would probably be nice and easy. Rear backup lights, I don't know. Just throw some things out. If you want to bring your projects, I'm happy to. And if you don't bring any projects, we'll go for a nice pretty drive and go hang out and enjoy our excursions, do the thing. If you do come, you're going to get a rig walk around on the channel. We're going to hope for no wind, so I can actually use your audio. And you're going to get a lunch provided by Geeks 4x4, and you get to hang out at the Excursion Heaven. So August 22nd, if you go on Facebook and go to my events, you will see that event. I'll probably pin it when I get done with this, if I remember, so that we get more people. You got to RSVP, though. If you're going to come, I need to know how many people are coming. I'm gonna make sure we don't have like 300 people show up. And I don't even know 300 people. So, no, I'm just kidding. I don't think 300 people are going to come up. But I would love to have 10 excursions here. That'd be awesome. So, bring it on. If you're close enough to come for the day, would love to see you. Hunter, you're not allowed to destroy any brake parts if you're coming here, because it seems like every time you come to Washington, you burn brake parts. But it is a little bit of a drive for you. It's just a day, Hunter. I will not be offended if you don't come. Yeah, what else we got going on, guys? What other excursion things, what vehicles, I don't know, what other things that you can think of that just make the excursion so incredible? Let's hear them in the comments. When you think of the Ford Excursion, what is the first thing that comes to mind about it being awesome? We already brought up some things. The first thing that comes to mind with Excursion. If you are new in here, please comment in the comments. When I say Ford Excursion, what is the first thing that comes to your mind? I would love to hear it. I'd love to talk about it. Probably debunk it, because you're going to say the same thing the last guy did. And, yeah, let's hear it. Let's hear the first thing that comes to mind when you say Ford Excursion. When I say Ford Excursion, you say gas guzzler. Yeah, that makes sense. Makes sense. Nobody posted that. I just said it because I know that's what you're all thinking. And you know, you're not wrong. And it's an expensive vehicle to drive right now. So yeah, I got that event coming up at my house. Hunter says, how much is this going to cost? Yeah, I get that. It does cost some money. Or time. One of the two. I'm trying to roll in time instead of money. It's hard to stick in that range, though. Because you got points where you get to that are going to have the thing. See what this Q&A does. It really wanted me to do a Q&A. Yeah, Hunter. I had the same problem. That's why a lot of stuff is not getting done currently, and why you guys aren't seeing a bunch of like new videos doing different things, because I don't have time. Currently, it is better in the summer, except that it's really hot, and so I'm not quite as gung-ho. It's funny because I come in here in the cold and I'll I'll knock out some projects. But when it gets hot, I don't want to be in here. I'll be on the boat. This truck has sat. I have not started it in over a month now. Probably should do that. That'd be good. Old Bob. These V10s, they can sit. They're fine. They're fine. But I do try and make sure I start it and drive it around. Need to go for a drive. Need to go get Bob warmed up. Test the air conditioner, you know. Make sure it's still holding the charge. Block off plates are working stellar. And, yeah, it's doing great. Bob is, I have to put the battery on a tender now, though, because I have so many toys in there that stay on that I got to make sure I don't kill the battery. My poor battery gets, it doesn't love sitting forever. Oh, yes, you're a gambler. See, I've looked at the Gambler every year, and it's like the same weekend as Northwest Overland Rally, the one in Oregon, because I could go to the original one, but it's always the same as Northwest Overland. I'm trying to save money this time of year so that I'm saving up and have money for Trail Hero and all that, and so that's what happens. And then people ask me to go wheeling and stuff, and I feel bad because I'm just like, no, I don't want to. But it's literally because I don't want to fill the gas tank because it's expensive. But I need to go. I need to go do stuff. And but I'm just trying. Geeks 4x4. I'm trying to have it actually cover my big trips, and we're getting there. So pretty exciting. And yeah, I'm trying to do that thing. So that's the down and the nitty gritty and the real truth of what you're getting with me. Your gamblers next weekend. I don't know what I'm doing next weekend. I'm gonna do something that makes me money, probably. Gambler is a good time. Are you going to the Gambler? It could be fun. No, I don't want to do it. I have to make smart decisions. I have to make sure that the money is saved so that I can make Trail Hero happen. Because that's a lot of fun. And Sand Hollow is just... it's such a spectacular place. Yeah, only 500 miles. That's only 3 tanks of gas both ways. So, I mean, easy. It's only $400 in gas. Yikes. Maybe more. I don't know. I need to figure out this gas tank thing. That's the next thing I need to work on. I have a buddy who's up for building me we're going to play with the gas tank a little bit more. See if we can't get it to where I can actually, like... I have a saddle tank sitting here, right? And Seth Polson says, my brother-in-law is originally from Spokane, is heading up from Utah. Just about finished with the details of his Godzilla Carly build. Wants to come show it off to you later this week. Seth, have him reach out, man. If he's coming through Wenatchee, I would love to see it. Also, Seth, if he's going to be up in the area in August 22nd, we're doing a hang at my house. So, like, that truck sounds rad, and I would love to see it. I'm not as big of a fan of the name of Carly of everybody else, but I would love to see a 7.3 Godzilla swapped one. That sounds awesome. So, really cool, Seth. Yeah, have him reach out. I would love to chat about it. And, I mean, like I said, if he's going to be around, freaking love it. I'm not in Spokane. I'm in Wenatchee. But, It's not too far. And I'd love to do a rig walk around on that sucker. That sounds cool. I always tell that to people. If you're coming through Wenatchee or you want to come close, you let me know. Because I will do a rig walk around. And you can come see my junk. I don't know if that's a good trade for somebody that's motor swap something. Because that thing it's done a lot of work. Oxbeam switch, PH Freelance, which truck? This one, it is up in the overhead console, but it doesn't have an overhead console. So yeah, Seth, like, dude, he has done a ton of work. He deserves the heck out of a walk around. So yeah, if he's gonna be up in the area, like I said, August 22nd, we're doing a thing, and then I am gonna do the excursion event, the big event, especially if he lives in Utah. If I am gonna do the big event every year, so it's probably gonna be the week after Easter. I'm in talks with a place. I did like Maris a lot, but I really think that this place might open up a little bit more possibilities for us. So I'm going to talk to the new spot, and it's going to be very close to Utah. We'll put it that way. Hunter, no, I'm not doing it. Is it this week? Is it literally this coming weekend? Because I do have stuff this coming weekend. Next weekend, I'm actually free. I think. Yeah, this coming weekend I have stuff. Yeah, no, I have stuff on Saturday, so I couldn't come. But dude, we should set up for next year and do a gambler together. That sounds like a blast. I'm totally down. If you want to do the Montana one or the Oregon one, I think I would rather do the Oregon one. I don't know, something about it sounds cool. But yeah, no, this weekend I can't. We have got some theater fundraising stuff that I should probably be at, because people get upset, and I missed the last one. But yeah, PH Freelance, you still in here, man? Which one do you want to see? I'm happy to walk out to either truck right now. Just tell me what it is. 24th to the 26th. Yeah, no, I can't do that one. Negatory. We will be here. I'll be on the boat. It's really sad. You know, I'm just, it's very disappointing for a lot of people I know. But that's where I'll be. But yeah, no. Are you going to it, Hunter? PH Freelance, are you still in here? Tell me which truck. If you're talking about the Oxbeam, though, I did last weekend. That's in the 7.3. If you're talking about the mic tuning, the big one, that's in this one. So, yeah. Okay. All right. Let's go for a walk. Ooh. Okay. I'll show you both. How's that? If you're still in here. Okay, this one is in Bob, but I built the whole console, and then Bob's is up here. So that's where the inner is on Bob. And then, let's go outside quickly because it's cooler in the garage than it is outside. I'm trying to keep it that way. I don't have an air yet. I need a mini split. White truck. Oops. I put it right there. So I had another hole in the dash for a single switch, and then I just drilled the second one, ran the wire in next to the steering column, and then up, and I ran the wire out right here. There is a hole, and if you drill the inside of that hole, you can then have the wire run right there. And I never put this back nicely, so it's back now. It's good. 6. You know, door code locked. And yeah, that is where they are both mounted. That one, actually, I was thinking about putting it on the dash directly in the white truck, and I started playing with it, and then I looked at their bracket, and that's the aux beam slim. Did you see where I mounted the actual like plugs? I mounted those. I don't know if you have a 7.3, but I mounted those in front of the battery on the passenger side. So I think I did a video, and I'm gonna try and put it together this week here, and then I could show you the video. Oh, I just did the video of the battery cable install, but I show where that thing is in the battery cable install video. So be on the lookout for that if you want to know. He's got a 7.3. Yeah, so I put it on the header panel. So like it's this, if this is the top of it, the cap, it's laying like this, and the cap comes off like this towards the battery. So it's laying up and down on the header panel right near that AC charge port and like all that stuff. That's like the only spot I found to actually put it in there nicely. And that's the aux beam slim 4-channel. I think it's on my Amazon store. If you haven't bought one yet, it helps me if you buy it through the link. But if you bought one, it's not a big deal. So anyway, yeah, it's sweet. Oh, I forgot. I spaced it out with nuts. I think I put 5/8 nuts behind it because there's some bolt heads behind it. So, yeah, I spaced it out. It's cool. It's pretty fancy. Maybe I'll do a quick little video on how I installed that in that truck. And like run through all the wires and stuff. Of like where I ran everything and all that. But that was the perfect wire length. Oh, Diodynamics one. Okay. Yeah, the aux beam one was the slim, was the perfect length of wire from the control box all the way around, across on top of the radiator, and then down to that thing. And I've never had one with the control wire be perfect. So that one was awesome. Bob's is the main control unit, but you have a 7.3, so it doesn't matter, is where the battery sits on the driver's side in the 7.3. So, but how many gang is yours that you're trying to put in your 7.3? Is it bigger? I don't know if a bigger box will go where I put the 4 gang box, because the 4 one is much smaller. It's like this big versus like this big for the 12 gang that's in this one. So, oh, you've got an 8. I don't remember if the 8 is on the same plate. I haven't seen a Diodynamics one, but I don't remember if the 8 is on the same plate as the 4 or the 12. I feel like the 8's pretty big, but I might be wrong. I don't know. It might fit down in there. I'll show you at some point, or I'll show you in that video at some point. If you hang it down in there, you'll see, like, it only fits in one spot. It's right where the support hits the radiator header. I say header panel, but it's the steel radiator support that it's self-tapered into in front of that battery. So there's a little tiny bit of room down in there, and then you could probably finagle yours a different way if you needed to. But yeah, that's where I ended up with mine. So, and they're both like that. That one's on the driver's side. The other one's on the passenger side. And I did key on power in the white truck. I didn't do that in Bob. Bob's is always on. So I can turn on lights and walk away. Be like one of those douchebag guys. Have lights on when I'm not at the truck. Yeah. I don't ever do that, except if I'm at like an influencer meetup thing or something. But it's cool to have. So yeah, mine's, like I said, that slim with the 4 thing is a lot smaller of a unit than the 12 one. But I've never had an, oh, do I have an 8? There's an 8 in this one. In the back. I forgot. There's another one in this truck. Hang on. I don't know what's going on. So back here in Bob, there's also another one. That's an 8. And if that box is that big, which it might be, that's the same size as the 12 box. So it may or may not fit. I don't know. But that's on my second battery and stuff in Bob. Let's have this open. It's drying out. All right, Freelance, let me show you on Bob where I put this thing. I don't really want to go back out in the heat. This is hot out there. Okay, so Bob's is right here, and that one's across. So the bolts are on either side, there and there. And then what I did on the white truck was right where my winch wires come down right here. The top bolt is like right here with a nut underneath it to space it out, because you have those bolt heads that you got to get on top of. The top bolt's there, bottom bolt's at the bottom of it. So it's sitting sideways right in here. So that's where it is. Yeah? That makes sense? Enough? The one on Bob is wireless. This is the antenna for the one on Bob. So this is a Wolf Will 12 gang that I can pull the whole controller out and walk around with it and control all the lights. It's kind of cool. It's also super goofy. So, you know, got that going for me. Yeah, I'll pull it out. You guys are sitting here. Yeah. All right, you ready for madness here? Okay. This is my switch pot. So I can hit the horn, but I'm not gonna do that. That seems dumb. Dust lights. Yeah, those exist on Bob. Underglow. Give it a second, I'll turn green. Probably. Yeah, there it is. And the emblem is lit up with the underglow. The emblem also lights up when you open the doors. This one has different colors for different flash patterns. So that's the, like, hyper flash. There's one that's just like a slow blink. And then the underglow is just like a solid on. And then grill lights. And yeah, I'm sitting right here controlling this in front of you guys. Isn't that funny? It is the goofiest thing. This one? Oh, man, those are sweet with that flash. It's cool. So anyway, this thing is kind of fancy. It's kind of really goofy, but it's also kind of really cool. And now everybody's gonna go buy a Wolf Will and get the thing. I like it as well. I also know that it's super gimmicky. Like, that's what's funny about it, is that I do like it. I just also think it's super gimmicky. Larry knows. He knows, yes. He thinks it's great. So yeah, there's my switch pod. It's pretty cool. The one thing I wish that they would have done is, like, put a magnet on this or something so that you could just slap it onto something and have it on the side or something like that. I do have a horn on here that I'm not going to blow because it's really loud. But yeah, kind of cool. Larry knows, thinks it's gimmicky, I think. I don't know. He just said yes. I don't know what he said yes to, but. All right, we need one more thumbs up to hit double digits. So make that happen. Oh, Larry answered to the question. That is awesome, Larry. Thank you for joining. I feel like I recognize your your name, Larry knows. I think if you commented before or if you've been on a live, I don't remember. But tell me about your Excursion. What year, engine, four-wheel drive, all that stuff. Let's hear about it. And where are you located, my friend? That is the reason that we're on live, is for me to learn about you guys. And so ask your questions. I am happy to answer what I can and tell you I don't know when I don't know. And yeah, just glad to be here hanging out with you guys. So that's always the goal. Hang out, learn some new stuff, learn some new things about my subscribers, and get to talk straight to you guys. It's really fun. I really like it. This is like something I get to do, and it just feels so surreal to me. Yeah, you can turn this thing off so that you can't turn it on, which is nice, because then it saves the battery, because it does have a battery in it. And yeah. Larry knows it's got an 05 with a 6-liter that's bulletproof. That is great. Yeah. Johnny Thunder coming in here saying that the V10 is the big daddy, and I don't know about that, but I love my V10, Johnny. Love my V10, but it's not the big daddy. But that is a great engine. I love this truck with a V10. So, Larry, Stage 2, KC Turbo, Miami, Florida, doing the stuff. So, cool, man. Have you owned that thing since new? Did you like bulletproof it yourself and all the stuff? So, Johnny, what year is your V10er? Let's hear about it. And where are you located? I just like to know where everybody is. As I'm planning events, I try and get things decently close to people or decently centralized. You never know. PH Freelance setting us up for a trip next year for Mardi Gras and his honeymoon. Driving from New Orleans to Arizona, Colorado, Utah, and Nevada. That's awesome. Johnny Thunders, no. I mean, you're right in the fact that the V10 has the most cylinders. But it doesn't have the most power. Cylinders, sure. I'll give you the big daddy on the cylinders. Like I said, I love my V10. This one right here is a V10. I think it's a great engine. But the 6-liter and the 7.3 exist, and I don't think I'd own a 6-liter over a V10, but I'm not putting the 7.3 underneath the V10 ever. It's just better. It's just better. It just is. I love my 7.3. Also, like I said, love my V10. No hate for the V10. Just telling you. Just being real around here. Where are you from, Johnny? Pre-H Freelance. That's awesome, man. You should time it right around Easter so that you can come to the Excursion event in wherever it's going to be. No, I kid. I am talking to somebody near St. George about hosting it in St. George, Utah. So that's where we're thinking about the next one. I know it's not quite as central for you guys that are on the East Coast, and I'm sorry. But you could come and explore Zion. You could come and explore Moab if you want. You can do, like, there's so many great things that you can do around the event that I think it will be better. I know it's further for you guys, and it kind of sucks. But I think that it might work better. It's not set in stone. I'm just talking about it to you guys right here on the live. But if the birds are chirping and they keep saying Texas, I don't think I'm going to do Texas again this next year. I don't know. But Maris is obviously still on the table. They're great. But I'm thinking of St. George. I told you. There you go. I have to drive all the way. I have to drive 40 hours for you to show up? Come on, man. Last year I drove 27, and nobody met me in the middle. So I don't think it was worth me driving 27. So I'd rather do it a little bit closer with an area that is way more friendly to people coming and visiting and getting a real road trip out of it. So that's my thought. Dang. Larry knows, bought it in 2010. Did everything. 600 horsepower, lifted 5 inches, and just gave it to his daughter. You gave it away? Gave it away. Well, that's a pretty darn good high school graduation present. That's, I mean, I drove mine all through high school. I think that's when I got the title to mine, was my high school graduation present. So, yeah. Great trucks. You set her up really well, especially with bulletproof 6-liter, man. She should be in great shape. And congrats on having a kid graduate from high school. It's a big deal. Yeah, no, in all honesty, as I'm thinking about this event thing and thinking about making this happen more, I feel that I would like to have events in other places. And so I am thinking about somewhere closer, probably not in the Keys, because that really is not central to anyone. But somewhere on the East Coast, so that folks could drive, more centralized and meet up out there as I keep doing these. So that's kind of my hope. So I just need to get some momentum, and obviously it's got to make the money so that makes sense for me to be on the road. And we were talking, Alcala and I were talking, and he's like, do we really need our trucks? And I was like, I don't know. What do you guys think? Would it be weird if I just showed up for an event? Like if I flew into Miami and was like, I'm going to host an excursion event, would that be weird, Larry? Was it you that was saying? No, that was Johnny Thunder saying that he's in Key West. I have to go all the way to the southernmost tip of the United States, and I'm almost in the northernmost, not the northernmost of the 48. I'm almost there. And yeah, he probably wouldn't show up anyway. Just kidding. Larry knows that makes sense, man. That makes sense. All the toys, gotta have them. It's more fun. And yeah. But yeah, what do you guys think? Would it be weird if I flew in and hosted an excursion event? I had no excursion. I just showed up, got on a plane. It's actually cheaper than, or showed up and maybe people have excursions and they let me borrow one. There is my LiPo battery being charged. Great, thank you. Shut up. So, what do you guys think? If the guy was hosting an event about a vehicle and didn't show up with a vehicle, what would that? Are you fine with that? It's really not about me, is what I feel like. I don't want to make it about me. But I want to make it about your guys' vehicles, and so it doesn't really need to be my vehicle around in my theory. But does everybody want to see the Bob excursion? Like, you're gonna be mad if you don't get to see Bob and make fun of me for cutting an excursion, a perfectly good one? Johnny Thunder, man, that's such a bummer. You're missing out on so many things in life. Not driving more than 2 hours. That's a bummer. PH Freelance says, yeah, it's about the love of the excursion. What does that mean, PH Freelance? Yeah, it wouldn't matter? Or... See, I keep thinking about that too, Hunter. So there's a possibility, guys. So I'm really close to... Well, you guys are the people. So I think people should be more open about all this anyway. I played with some credit card debt, and I got pretty not where I wanted to be in that, and I'm currently working on getting rid of that. And we are making massive strides. And when that is done, that actually frees me up a lot to probably not have the main day job, which means I can just bounce out whenever I want. And it means Geeks 4x4 can keep some of the money it's making instead of pushing it all towards credit cards. And so I think that very soon I might be able to go start buying these excursions and fixing them up, doing Geeks 4x4 editions, and getting an excursion here, fixing it up and flipping it, selling it, and bringing you guys along for the ride. And I want to do that. I want to fly into somewhere, especially if I fly into somewhere crazy, host an event. So buy a truck, host an event, and then take the truck home, and maybe host events all the way along the way. I don't know. That seems like a lot of planning to make that happen. I've tried to do some meetups when I'm on the road, and I have not done well at it, but I think that'd be a blast. Cool. Okay, well, that's good to know, PH Freelance. I appreciate a little bit of insight. Does everybody else? So PH Freelance said, yeah, it would not matter if your excursion was there or not. I want to see Bob, but I completely understand the expense. So you just being there would be cool for these events. And I think, like, Bob will get out to some events, and I'm not saying that I'm not going to go, but I'm just like, it was Outcloud's idea. He goes, well, do you actually need the truck? And I'm like, I mean, I guess not, but I feel like I don't. Like, I don't feel like I'm that cool to not need the truck. I feel like you guys like what we're doing because of the truck, but I think you also all are starting to understand, like, how much it is about the community, I think, too. So I feel like I'm doing a good job on that, maybe. I don't know. But am I that cool? But I guess, do I need to be the ones that host them? I probably should come out and host and bring some Geeks 4x4 stuff, and yeah, I think a roadkill style, like trying to get an excursion. So back up a little bit. I'm just telling you guys everything on this. It's more fun. I know all you guys super well. Or now, you don't know. I don't know you super well. Now you're gonna know me super well. It's fine. When I was going to buy Bob, I actually found one in Boston that I knew I was gonna cut the rockers out of it, so I really wasn't worried about rust. And so I was like, let's freaking go to Boston. Like, my wife and I, like, kind of planned a Boston trip to go and drive this truck back. And then Bob popped up for, like, not that much more money. And it was 4 hours away. And it was, like, perfect. And I was like, I'm just going to go do it. And as I have built Bob, it has made me very happy that I did not do that, because the little bit of rust that Bob had multiplied on one from the East Coast would absolutely have driven me nuts. But I could build one, like, I could do the rock sliders on one from the East Coast and not do all the suspension stuff, and, like, do some of the body mods for somebody and let them do the suspension, or do it all, I guess. And try and fix one from the East Coast that I bought. These trucks are made for driving, man. I don't have any concerns about pulling up to somebody's house of one that, like, I want it to run, I think. The one in Boston, I was gonna have to put brakes on it because he had seized calipers or something. And yeah. Johnny Thunder, a little bit of body damage. This was there when I bought it. That was from the pickle. And there's just some other little scratches. It's not doing too bad, though. Mostly, I'm trying to keep the body straight. It's not easy doing what I'm doing with the truck. But it'll have things. I'm not that worried about body damage, but I wanted to buy one that I wasn't worried about. And, you know, having owned the white one forever, I love that truck. And so if any of this stuff happened to that truck, I would be very sad. I have never cut anything or done anything to that truck until literally very recently, when I put a doubled-in radio in it. I've had the factory radio in that truck for 25 years. So, yeah, Bob just has a little bit of damage. We just ran this side through a canyon that it really shouldn't have been in. It's fine. It's just fine. And it did just fine. And it's going to go through there more, for sure. It's fine. Now it almost has the mold to where it can just work right through it. That's the hope. So yeah, there's my roadkill style Ford Excursion saving guy idea pitch. I think it would be a good time. And I just see them for really cheap in some of these places. I know that they could be rusted out. And they are rusted out at some points, but like, yeah, like find one in Georgia, host a thing wherever I'm gonna buy it. The problem is these marketplace guys, like I'm going to have to find somebody local in some of these places to grab it for me. And then, because the marketplace guy is not going to wait long enough. So the events are going to be like a week out. And it's like, I don't think people are going to be able to clear their schedule that quickly. I don't know. You guys tell me. But yeah. So, you think I could host an event, not have a truck? Would it be a paid event? What would that event look like? Let's brainstorm on this a little bit. This is why I love the live. So I really get to talk to you guys and learn what you think you'd like to see. So like Johnny Thunder, I love the Keys. I will actually be in Key West next month. And I love the Keys. We'll be on a cruise popping off in Key West next month. So come down and say hi. Andre Moore says, come to California. There are rust-free examples everywhere. You're very right. I grew up in California. I know very much about that. They're not cheap, though. I have not found one in California for under $2,000, under 25 even. They're expensive. Whereas in like Georgia, they're like $1,000 for some that are bad. So $1,000. So I'm just playing with that. But yeah, I mean, it could come. California is easy enough. I'm talking like if I'm gonna go do a real road trip or a real like roadkill style fix it on the road, California to home feels very doable to me. In my truck, like if I'm gonna do an event in California, I'm just gonna drive because it's only 20 hours down to like where I grew up from where I am. It's not that bad. Only 20 hours. Johnny's like, I don't drive more than 2, and I'm like 20. No problem. Let's go. But driving across the country is not 20 hours. It's like 40. So driving across the country north and south is different. So, but yeah, what would an event look like? So say I came to the Keys for Johnny's sake. And I forget where PH Freelance is located. We got another guy that was located in Florida. Say I come to the Keys, and I say, we're going to do an excursion weekend in the Keys, and I'm just going to fly in. What do you guys want to see at that type of event? Tell me about it. Tell me about what would make sense. I probably have to charge so I can cover my travel expenses and do stuff. So, like, what's a fee that would be reasonable? Obviously, it's going to take me some time to plan it and, like, all that stuff. So I need a little bit of compensation to make it to where I can do these things. Yeah, 20-hour drive is no problem, Johnny. Not a big deal. Well, I drove, if you were to look at it, I was in Waco, Texas in April, and that was 33 hours from my house, I think. It's fine. It's fine. It's great. It's good stuff. Yeah. I think Waco was like 6-7 hours further than 6-7 further than Maris, and Maris is 27 for me. So, and that's why I picked Maris, because it was 27 for me and 27 for the guy in the Keys, or 28. It was close. The guy in the Keys was driving about the same distance as I was driving, and that was the goal. So, and up in Maine. So, all the peeps. So, but nobody came from the East Coast. So, you know, why would I be stoked about doing it in the center? That's a further drive for me if nobody comes from that side of the country. Just saying. Just saying, folks. Had a guy from South Carolina, and that guy was awesome. And had a guy trying to get there from Louisiana, I think, but he had a bunch of problems, which is a bummer. And so, yeah, but we had like 4 people from Arizona, 5 people from Texas, and somebody from New Mexico, and that idiot from Washington. Oh, yeah. Yeah, nice. Nice, PH Freelance. Hey, no big deal, man. I totally get it. That's the goal. We're going to do them about the same time every year and do the thing. You guys have to tell me about it. Tell me about what it would look like. Dad Van Memorial? I don't know what you're talking about, Johnny. You guys need to type up something really quick. Tell me what it would look like. If I flew in, hosted an event, tell me what you would pay and want to come to. If I flew in, hosted an event near you. I've never been to New Orleans. I would actually love to go down to New Orleans. I bet I could buy an excursion in New Orleans. Or near it. And do an event, do a meetup type thing. Do we do a weekend? Do we do a cool drive? Like, what do we do, PH Freelance, in New Orleans that is like a paid event? Because I need to make up for my time and, like, hopefully help with buying the truck and do the stuff. What do we do? Giggity! Giggity, whoa. Cruise control didn't work, then did work and got stuck on. How about the brake switch? Because the brake switch failing would not turn it off if you hit the brakes. I always start with the brake switch. There's a brake interlock switch on the master cylinder, and that's what you need to replace first. It's cheap. There's one on my Amazon store. It's in, like, maintenance, I think. The maintenance X maintenance list. It's cheap. I would do the brake switch first, and if it's not the brake switch, then you have to go look at everything else, like your clock spring and all that other stuff. Cable on your Excursion? PH Freelance. I'm not worried about off-road stuff. We could. I don't... Personally, I know that a lot of people with their Excursion would never off-road it. So, like, I'm not trying to push that the event is an off-road thing. I just want the event to be, like, Excursion hangs. So we could go and test a little bit, find these are trails and go test. But I don't really care about off-roading. The branch, David Lyon. I have no idea. Yeah, no, I have no clue. Giggity, the cable feels stuck. I mean, maybe you have a V10 and the cable could have worn out and be stuck. Because is there a second cable on the throttle body? I've never really paid attention to it. It's very possible that the cable, especially if it got stuck, it's very possible that the cable is worn out and got stuck. That would make a lot of sense. No, Johnny, I did not see that. This trip, we went and saw friends in Waco, and then we went to Maris. We didn't stop we stopped at Cadillac Ranch. Obviously went through Moab, backside of Monument Valley area, little corner Colorado, New Mexico. The year before, went to St. Louis. Yeah, an excursion convoy. Like, that's my thought. So, like, I'm sure that there's some cool roads down there in New Orleans that somebody local like yourself could help me find. And then we could plan to, like, meet up, do a kind of a little drive, friends drive that we just have people sign up for. I don't charge very much, but I charge enough that it makes a little bit of sense for me to go. You know how this goes. I have to figure it out. Maris, we charged, the cost we charged for Maris was to cover the park fees. And we did actually make a couple dollars, which is cool. Well, we appreciate the heck out of that. But I'm not in this to make money. I'm in this to grow the community, and if it ends up with me making a little bit more money, great. Or being able to at least do the things. That's my goal, is to be able to do the meetups and continue to do them. So I have to make enough money that it's not financial suicide to do it. Right? Right. Me! You ever had a problem with the Pats where it would not accept keys They were programmed to it intermittently. Yikes. No, I haven't. Thank goodness, because the PATS thing. Whew. I don't know enough about it. I'm sorry. I don't have a great explanation. Have you tried a new key and programming a new key and seeing, I wonder if you're like, because it's possible like the transponder or something is going bad in the key. Have you tried the different key? Because you should have had, with each of these trucks, I think, came with 2 keys. And you can program more. It's not that hard. Actually, the PATs, you need to go to locksmiths and stuff. But you could, like the transponder could be worn out of the key, maybe? I don't know. 3 brand new keys. Dang. Does the original key do it? Just curious. Man, Johnny, that's so sad, man. You could see so many excursions if you go a little further. Local Publix, man. In the Keys. I don't remember there being a Publix down there. What island are you on, Johnny? But I get it. Excursions are going to be more and more collectors, though, and I want this community to grow. So I'm going to go as far as I need to go to meet the people. That's the goal. We need to get the people. So, but Johnny, what would be a thing at the local Publix that you would want to go do? Just want to do like a car show? Lost the original. Bummer me. I don't know, man. And Andre, you don't actually. You can go really deep into these computers and program them without the original key. Alaska. Yeah, there's a ton of excursions up there. It's a great spot. Love it. Is it Simple Man? I like that. 2003 7.3, 380. Sorry, 2001 7.3, 4-wheel drive, 380K. Daily driven. That's awesome. That's I have an 01 too. I'm a little bit behind you on the mileage. 353. I mean, so little. Such no miles. I mean, just the best trucks, man. Super glad you found the channel, Simple Man. I am the excursion guy. So if you want some excursion tips or you need to learn how to fix something on your excursion, I can help with that most of the time. Sometimes when there's a video. But I have done some dumb things with an excursion. If you know the channel, you know the stuff. But yeah, thank you for coming in and sharing. We are talking about events, and I'm trying to pull out of you guys what type of event would you like to see locally that would make sense for me to fly into and host and do for you guys locally, even if I could fly everywhere. I mean, what would you like to see? I want to hear what you would like to do. What could I possibly charge for it? Because unfortunately, that's the reality of the situation, is that I need to figure out how to make it to where I can do it and not lose tons of money and do the stuff. So, jug off, load. Anyone put a 5-speed manual to a V10? Well, the ZF6 exists, so every manual pickup truck with a V10. Yeah, I'm sure it's been done. I will be doing it if my transmission does dumb things. Yeah, I'd love to put a ZF6 behind this truck. Behind this here, a V10. So, yeah, I think that'd be a lot of fun. But no, I haven't done it. Juggalo off-road, do it then. If you got all the parts, man. I do not have all the parts. And so it's not going to happen anytime soon. You have a trans tunnel too? Because the trans tunnel is different. If you grab one out of a truck, it helps you a lot. you lose your rear lower AC and heat vents. Excuse me. But it is not that bad of a swap because the ZF6 exists. Johnny Thunders, that is 100% not true. There are a ton of excursions in Florida. Maybe down in the Keys, there's not very many excursions. But every other post on all the excursion pages on Facebook, somebody's from Florida. Also, I'm pretty sure there was a guy in here earlier from Florida. So there's plenty of excursions down there. And I think we could do an event, no problem. But just need some ideas. What is something that you would go and do? What is something that sounds fun as an excursion owner to meet other excursion owners and, you know, do the thing? Juggalo Off-Road. Let's get 2 excursions and 2 F-250s. Nice. Ford Super Duty fan, I see. That is awesome. What a cool fleet you have. What engines? Are they all V10s? Or are they a mixture of all the motors? Five fours exist, you know. It's always peeping up. Again, guys, I want a 5.4 Excursion. I want a 5.4 two-wheel drive. Slam to the ground. It's that simple. No problem. 5.4 two-wheel drive. Let her rip. Low. ME, he's talking about, has anybody run into trouble fixing the cruise control after replacing the brake pressure switch? Didn't quite fix it. Interesting that you have that still going as well. So the next thing to check is the clock spring, because the controls won't be getting power from the clock spring if it's broken. Does your horn work and everything? But it's interesting. Well, the reason I say interesting me is because you got that problem with the keys, and I wonder if it had something to do with that as well. If it's all kind of related, because it's all in the steering column. So, yeah, that's kind of interesting. Juggalo's got a 5.4 and 3 of them and a V10er. I assume the V10 is an Excursion because what's the point of a V10 pickup? Excursions are better. What else you guys got? Keep the questions coming. I love it. I just like talking to you guys, learning about stuff. Oh, somebody sent a guitar. Ooh. I did it. Simple man. Juggalo dailies the V10. That's awesome. I do not daily a V10. I daily straight 6. 4.0 liters in a line with a 6-speed, because that's more fun. Yeah, it ain't cheap to daily a V10, especially right now. Southwest Off-Road, what is up? You made it. We're in here. We're talking about excursions. We're talking about events. We're talking about the stuff, you know. Oh. Tell you, unplug it. So you got a ground. So you have a short in that. Did you try 2 brake pressure switches, or did you just try 1? I wonder if the one you got is bad. It's very common now. Scott Brousseau is asking me what gears I have in this truck. It's a V10 on 40s. I run 488s is what I run. It's a little deeper than factory with the 40s. It runs 2,400 RPMs at 70 miles an hour. So, yes, Southwest Off-Road. I am hosting an event August 22nd at my house. So if you are in the Pacific Northwest, which I don't remember where you are, we're just gonna have like a hangout barbecue, check out each other's trucks, do the thing. If you got some parts to sell, you can bring those. Got RC cars, you should bring those because I got a crawler course, and it's at my house. But if you're not in the Pacific Northwest, it's not worth driving for a day. The next big event will be the week after Easter, if I can make that happen at this place that I'm talking to about it. Yeah, maybe ohm it out. I'm wondering if I bet there's a short somewhere in that wire, unfortunately. Yeah. PH Freelance. That's awesome, man. Thank you. I will check them out. I'm not into that part of my brain and event planning yet, but I do, at some point, want to start making these events more and more happening. So we'll make it happen, and give me a few years. It's not gonna be right there. Southwest Side Road. Yeah, you're not down the road. Down there in New Mexico, it's a little farther away. That's okay. I figured that, but yeah. And PH Freelance, willing to drive. That's awesome. That's the goal right now. Like I said, one big event right now, trying to be a pretty central location, but also a worthwhile driving to location. So I'm trying to kill two birds with one stone right now. Me, dude, I am so, thank you. That's my goal, is to help dudes like you. I'm also happy to sit here and just bounce ideas through. I might have exactly the same ideas that you do, but I'm just a guy that cares about these trucks. So I'm glad to be that guy for a bunch of people, and I'm glad to have helped in a couple of ways if I could. Yeah, these trucks are pretty special. I love them, and I'm super grateful for the community like you that has come around me because of them. So it's pretty cool. I'm ready to be back at this full time and doing events, doing things, doing the stuff. So if anybody is close to me, Pacific Northwest in Wenatchee, Washington, we are going to be hosting a thing August 22nd. Just a hangout at my house. So if you're in the Pacific Northwest, come on by. Travis Work. Travis, you're the guy that lives in Kashmir, right? August 22nd, it's at my house. So you can email me, I can send you the link too. But on my Facebook page under the events, there is a event for it, and there's a Google form to RSVP. I'd like to have people RSVP. That would be sweet. So, okay, cool. I was like, I thought I recognized the name. I saw you driving today, Travis. Actually, you passed us going across the South Bridge. I was in the Wife's Edge, though, so you wouldn't notice me. Yeah, Facebook under the more. It's so dumb how my Facebook page, I cannot make the events tab something that just shows up. I have to make it to where it's under the more thing. And so under more, you'll see the events, and it's there. I just created an event in there. I shared it to all the Facebook pages. Obviously, the algorithm has not hit the people right down the street like yourself. But yeah, would love to have you here, Travis. I want to check out that truck. We've driven by each other 1,800 times, and that's why I'm doing local stuff. So August 22nd, that Saturday, we're gonna do meet at my house. Come hang out, grill some burgers, and drive some RC cars on the RC crawler course, and just have a fun time. So hopefully the weather's not really hot, but I have misters. It's fine. Just playing with stuff. Tell you guys, say something. See if you notice these things I'm doing in the background. Oh yeah, Jake. I need to text Jake and tell him about this. I don't know if he's on the Facebook pages. He's here freaking now. Jake's I've known Jake for a long time. He's a good dude. And he's done he's building a cool. I'm excited to see what he comes up with. He's a really good fabricator. So, he's been doing he's already come over and laid all over this truck. So yeah, he, like, I don't know, week 2 of owning his truck, or month 2, it was like, I need to come and crawl over that truck. And I was like, sure, let's do it. Simple Man, Simple Plan, maybe? I don't know. Is it Simple Man? I have not. So mine has a cold air intake. Doesn't have cold air. I drilled holes in the header panel so that it gets fresh air. And then it has JBA headers on it because there were 19 broken studs. No, there are actually 20 broken studs. And 19 of them fought me to come out. I will murder exhaust studs. I hate them. I hate them with a passion. Putting heads on it next time. So no, not really. I mean, the headers supposedly do things. And it has a 3-inch exhaust all the way back. All the way back. West Off-Road, Southwest Off-Road, Oaks sent a gold coin. What is up, Oaks? Again, so Southwest Off-Road says, what was the general consensus of the level of difficulty of the April Texas event? See, that's why I'm playing with the event. So the next year, I'm not sure if it's going to be in the same location, just so you know. I'm talking to, it doesn't need to be a secret. I'm talking to Jellystone in San Hollow, and I don't want to, the idea was not to focus on off-road, and so I think I personally missed the mark by doing that. But what's cool about San Hollow area was it would give you the ability to go and test your skills, and it would also give you the ability to go drive through Zion, or drive to the North Rim of the Grand Canyon, or like hundreds of other things. Go to Cedar Breaks, go to Bryan Head, go, like, there's so many really cool things around there that we could go do besides off-roading. General consensus, I mean, we had every rig there was pretty capable. We didn't do anything that crazy. We just had a good time. So I don't know what you want me to, what you're quite asking. Was it like too much or was it too little? I don't know what you're quite asking in that. In that Southwest Off-Road of like, I don't think anybody was like, this is too much, or this is, I don't know, maybe. Oak Altman? No. 8 lug. 7 lug doesn't exist, I don't think. Maybe it does. I don't know. But Excursions are 8 lugs. 1 ton. Wontons. Because 1 tons have more fun. Oh yeah, you're right. Some of the Ford vans have that stupid 7 lug. Elite Service. I am based out of Wenatchee, Washington. PH Freelance says if you break a stud, it only has 7. You're correct. Southwest Off-Road. That sounds awesome, man. Like I said, when I branch out and start doing other events that are not just like the main event, I'm going to need help from people like you and all those other places. So yeah, probably not right now, Southwest Off-Road, but yeah, don't forget, because when I start doing more of these things, I'm gonna need help. Oklahoma, I did not see the finals. Who won? Who won World Cup? It ended when I was on this, so I've been watching live, not the finals. So, who won? Spain or Argentina? Did Messi get his World Cup? Spain won. No wonder my neighbor's back to work and happy. And I have a neighbor from Spain. And, yeah, that's awesome. Messi cried. That makes sense. Yeah. I mean, second in the world. So, yeah, but Southwest Off-Road, love to chat about it. Honestly, what I'm going to be doing, if you have like this trail number system rating, a 4 rated trail, for maybe a 5, so that anybody could just run it, is what I want to be doing. So, Lucas, he's got an 0173 with 368. I don't have CTIS. Don't know what that is. Johnny, technically true. We're not going to say that type of thing, though. It's fine. Soccer's kind of a fun sport. It's kind of fun how it unites people. But I also have really loved that the World Cup being here and everybody really enjoying being in the U.S. That has been my favorite thing about the World Cup being here, is watching people just really enjoy my country that I love, that a lot of people don't. So I think it's really cool. I think it's a great reminder of how great of our country that we live in. So pretty neat. Definitely been fun. Oh, central tire inflation. No, that is like thousands of dollars. And I don't spend money on something that I can get for a lot cheaper. Yeah, Southwest, that would be super cool, man. You keep retracting those messages for some reason. But yeah, that'd be super cool. That would be a lot of fun. There's definitely some cool areas. I've never really wheeled in Mexico. There's a guy that was at the event from New Mexico that's super nice dude. He lives in Albuquerque, I think. I think that's where I drove through. And yeah, so driving through there, I've driven through there on the 40 before. So coming down from Moab, though, was a little different, and there's some really pretty stuff. So definitely a place that I'd like to explore. So I'm working on it. The big thing, Southwest Off-Road, that I want to make sure that I think I've already said to you is I don't want it to feel like only off-road guys can come to these events. I want it to be everybody, and the off-road guys can go off-road if they want, and the on-road guys can go drive through something else if they want. And that's why I'm kind of thinking about a different location for next year. So, Simple Man, I run like 11 anytime I'm wheeling, Bob. So 10, 11. I've been at 8 before on the Coopers. They had a harder sidewall. I run 11, 12-ish on the Milestars because they're actually way softer, and on the road, anything lower is absolutely sketchy as heck. So yeah. Yeah, exactly. Southwest or off-road. That's what I want. That's the idea if we are going to off-road. But I also, like, we didn't get any two-wheel drive guys because it was all said that it was going to be this, you know, and I want the two-wheel drive guys to come, and then they can hear the stories, and you know, if they want to build one, they can look at all the other ones and they can do the thing, you know what I mean? But it's not like it's just focused on off-road. That's not my goal. I built one for that, but I understand that I'm the only one that is building one specifically for that type of thing. So but they're also really good at exploring, and if you are interested in a little bit at off-roading yours, then I think that there needs to be an opportunity for you to test and try it and see what you think it is. See how, and I love getting to show people how capable these things are, because a lot of people think that these trucks aren't capable stock with smaller tires or whatever, and they are extremely capable. So, you know that. So it's like good to have that opportunity, but it's also like, I don't want it to be that's the only reason people come to the event. In all honesty, I could do an excursion off-road event, and if we do something down by you and we did that, that sounds like something that we would do, right? An excursion, like an off-road event. But I think personally, I think it was me, you know, missing the mark of picking the place. I picked an off-road place, and so it became an off-road event, and I want it to be an event that everybody can come to. That is my goal with it. Yeah. The long and the short of it. There's my answer. Hopefully that makes sense to people. I know I'm the excursion off-road guy, and that's funny to say, but I care more about this community than I do about all of you guys off-roading your excursions. Yeah, see, that would be really fun. Southwest Off-Road, where are you based? What town are you in? Are you in Santa Fe? Yeah. Yeah, and that's the goal. Like, that's the idea with somewhere like San Hollow. Los Alamos County. Okay. Is that up near Santa Fe? Yeah, you're up in the mountains, right? So that's above Albuquerque? I don't have a map, so I can't just, my phone is stuck on this live. So, how far from Moab? But yeah, I think that would be a cool spot too. I don't know enough about Albuquerque. Northwest of Santa Fe. Okay. So kind of where we came down. 6 hours to Moab. Okay. Yeah, a little bit of where we came through a little bit when I was driving from Moab to Texas. Hour and a half north of Albuquerque. Okay. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's a cool spot. Up in the mountains, up in there is neat. So, that would be a fun one. Like I said, there's so many locations, so many things. I want to get the central, like the main big event rolling and consistent, and feel like I have a place that works well to just bring everybody in. And then we'll really focus in on some of these smaller events, and figure that thing out. So yeah. What's the other one that Farmington? Drove through Farmington. Are you close to Farmington? You're up in the mountains there, so it's yeah. Everybody's gonna love the elevation. Bob is it's fine at New Mexico's elevations. Colorado was terrible. It was Bob is not built to climb Eisenhower. It is slow. But as soon as you get over that mountain, it's all flat. Well, going east. Yeah. Yeah, no, I drove through Farmington. I know what it is. So, cool stuff though. Yeah, that'd be neat. Southwest Off Road. Shoot me an email, man. Let's chat about that a little bit. Geeks4x4@gmail.com. Yeah, I'd love to chat with you. Are you Southwest Off Road? Do you do like tours and stuff? Is that what you do? And you have excursions? The name just kind of signifies that it's something that you do. I just figured I'd ask, you know, just so I know. But you have an excursion, Southwest Off Road. What else we got, guys? You're hearing all the details of my ideas for the next event. My current next event is August 22nd, and that is at my house. So if you live in the Pacific Northwest and you want to get involved, and you'd like to do the thing, yeah, Pacific Northwest people, go to Facebook, go to events on the Geeks 4x4 Facebook page. Sign up, RSVP, do the thing. Let's have a good time. Southwest Off Road, you collaborated with other YouTube off-road overland folks before, and you have 2.75. Does that mean you cut the back cap off of one? That's what I want to know. So, but you don't lead trails down there and have a paying guide business. That's what I was wondering. Because if you have a paying guide business, I really need to talk to you, because I want to understand how to bring people on trails some more. So, but yeah. Hit me up. Oh, got it. Okay, cool. Yeah, Southwest Off Road, shoot me an email. Love to talk. Love to at least get that rolling. Like I said, I don't know how close I am to that, but I at least want your contact and to have a little bit of a conversation. Perfect. So, yeah, anything else? Anybody else has got going on? We're just kind of talking about the stuff. Andre Moore, I mean, the 40-inch Coopers, but it wouldn't change any different with the 40-inch Patagonias. It's still a 40-inch tire. It doesn't care. It's just the 488s that I put in, if I were to build this truck to tow trailers and do this stuff, I would have gone a lot deeper. And if I lived in Colorado, I would have gone like 538s. But I don't, and I don't need the gears to do that. I don't need to tow trailers. I don't need that. 488s are plenty low for rock crawling, and when I want lower, I'm going to probably put a 2-speed Atlas in here and get the really low gears out of an Atlas transfer case. I'm going to go lower gears in the transfer case versus lower gears in the axles. I kind of went with the old school rock crawler mindset that 488 gears are a little bit thicker and have a little bit bigger pinion. And so that's why I chose the 488s. Bluegate, you! I don't know. Simple Man, no. They do not. But you have to remember, this truck is coil swapped with PMF's offset arms. So if it did not have offset arms, it would rub the control arms. And if it was not coil swapped, it would rub the leaf springs. So, but I have full turn out of the front of this truck with the 40s. So, full lock to lock. And they don't even rub in the fender anymore because sumo springs. The way I set those bump stops up is minty. And I really am impressed with the sumo springs. They're cool. They're a cool deal. 540 i6 vids, what up? S40? I don't know. What up, man? Just hanging out live, doing the thing, talking about excursions, talking about 40s on an excursion, talking about excursion events, doing the stuff. Oh. 5-4. I don't know who that is. He said wrong account, so it'll be the right person. It'll be somebody I recognize very soon, and I don't know who it is right now. Is Fabio? I don't remember who you are. Yep, Oak Altman does not have an excursion. That's okay. You're still hanging out. Ah, Diesel Lives Matter. That's who the 540. There he is. There he is. Simple Man. Yeah, so the back of the fender, if you look at the pictures, I took like about midpoint on the fender and I started cutting back there. So the back of the fender is back a little bit, and then I took out that pinch seam that's in the way on the inside. The rears, not really. I cut a little bit of the front of the fender, and then the back was different because I bobbed it, right? And then I rolled the lip on the upper. So the top flat of each of these fenders, if you look at the ground in a picture of this truck, it's still factory. So like the top of the arch is still factory arch. And then it's just kind of, I took the arch that's like this from the factory and I did this. And I kind of took the arch out a little bit and left the top of it. So if that makes sense. Oak Altman, necessary for taillight guards? No. If I would have had a guard on that light when I rammed it into the rock, it probably would have exploded the light. I'm not a taillight guard guy. But I am trying to get some extra taillights to carry. I'd like to have one taillight that I could carry, and I could put it upside down on the other side and have a taillight still. Because this, yeah, in the wrong rock crawling situations, this truck's going to go through taillights. But the bolt-on guards aren't going to do anything. What I should do is take it up from the bumper. Diesel Lives Matter, lots of AC issues. Bummer, man. I just had my AC stuff done, too. I had to replace a section of the line. We had to... I put a whole new rear evaporator in it and all that stuff, or rear condenser, and all the valves and everything for the rear. So it's all brand new. It's not that cold though. It's like it was cold and then it got hot and it doesn't feel as cold anymore. So I don't really know what's going on with that, but it's what it is. Nice. Nice. Yeah. This truck gets colder than the white truck. It has less air conditioning, as it only has the front AC. So, yeah. Compressor line was leaking. Bummer. Well, I got a new compressor out of it. That's good. I put a new compressor in my 7.3 at 300 because people were saying they were locking up right around there. So I put a compressor in it. I also put an alternator in it. I had to do that twice because the original alternator lasted 300,000 miles. The Ford replacement lasted a year. And then I bought an Apple one, and then I went back to Ford because it had because Ford had a warranty on it. So I got a new one, put the Ford one back in. Now it's been quite a while, so I got a good one now. I don't know, this thing's dumb. I hate when I replace. I was so mad because I replaced it to be preventative, and then I was literally putting an alternator in it in a Napa parking lot 6 hours from home a year later. Never had a problem, but now I have an extra alternator, and I carry it. I probably should stop carrying it. It's been a while now. But it's still in there. So here we are. Oak Altman, yes, I do know what diesel is, but there's the difference between diesel and gas. Travis doesn't believe in AC, just rolls the windows down. That's spoken like somebody that lives in the Pacific Northwest. The Jeep does not have, it blows cool air. Yeah, that's it. Andre, electric fans, like on an Excursion, I wouldn't worry about an electric fan. It's not worth it. The problem with electric fan is when it fails, it doesn't work. And a manual belt-driven fan does not fail. So even if it fails, the clutch, it still spin. So yeah, I don't know, simple man. The reason the air, I don't know what the reason is that the air is not as cool in the 7.3. It used to be. Like when that truck was new, it would freeze you out. It doesn't do that anymore. So there's something that's just not quite right. It hasn't been for years. It's colder now than it was the last couple of years after all the work that we just did, but it's still not as cold as it was from the factory. It was so cold. Like, it'd be 110 degrees in the Arizona desert, and it would be freezing you out. Yeah, I don't idle that much differently. I can't think of where my 7.3 idle. 700? But the freaking Bob will idle at 1,000 RPMs, or like 900. Like it definitely does idle higher. He's right. But then I don't know. I could probably get it. I don't know. I don't know if it's that. It's literally like I said. It's something that's different. Because it's something that's not quite right. Because I remember as a kid that thing being really cold. Does it settle warm? I don't know. This thing, I still need to go clean my idle air control again. Thing just tries to die on me every once in a while. It's like, how annoying. You didn't waste 2 joules. I saw them. They were exciting. Yeah, diesel lives matter. Maybe that's what it is that I am fatter now, so it doesn't feel as cold. Andre, lots of power is a relative statement, because there's been a bunch of research done on that, and like the Jeeps gain like 10 horsepower when guys take the manual fan off of a 4-liter and put an electric fan in it. But then you gain something of a fail point. That electronic fan fails, and it's really hard to move the vehicle when it's overheating with electronic fan, where if you have a thing. So I don't like adding things that could fail, and that's my problem with electric fans. I literally don't really have that big of a problem with them, but my problem is adding an extra fail point, where a fan that's bolted to the pulley is not going to fail. Engine fans in a Super Duty are 25 to 50 horsepower fans, and you can't even get a 5 horsepower electric fan. That's crazy. I didn't know that. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure you could put a couple of them on the radiator and get it to pull, but yeah, I mean, Bob's temp gauge never moves. And I shouldn't say that. It creeped up when I blew the coolant hose and was losing coolant. It started moving. But yeah. Yeah, really, that's crazy. Yeah, I mean, yeah, gaining some horsepower is cool, but like 10 to 15 horsepower, that's what everybody found in the Jeeps. It was like, I feel like it was 10 to 15 horsepower or less. And to me, it's just not worth that to have the extra fail point of the electronics. Like I don't even love, on my boat, there's an electric fuel pump, and in the block, I can't even put a manual fuel pump back in it. And I don't love that. It's like, if the fuel pump goes, that sucks. That really sucks. Your fan clutch was stuck on for 2 days and you lost a mile per gallon. Dang. Well, so maybe if it was an electric fan, you would gain a mile per gallon. Ooh, there we're really talking. So now that's actually making the thing. No notice. Yeah, I haven't played with that very much. So, but it is an interesting thing, Andre. It's just an interesting idea. It's like personally, like that's my motto on almost everything is keep it simple. And the reason I chose to build an Excursion for an off-road truck, obviously I was the Excursion guy, so I like them. But I also really like the drivetrain. And the more that I researched and the more that I understood the V10 drivetrain, the more I wanted to leave it alone, because that drivetrain was in things for like 20 years, or still is. And so that means a mechanic in every town probably knows what it is. And you can probably get parts for it. And it just runs. And so changing things like electric fans or doing that, to me, just adds more fail points. And what I'm doing, it doesn't do it. Oaks Altman, no, it is not a unibody. That would make it not an F-250. It is body on frame, and the frame is an F-250 frame. So, good old, when they were making real vehicles is when the Excursion was built. Steel body, steel frame, 8-inch C-channel, craziness. PH Freelance is setting his 7.3 up for overlanding. That is awesome. Keep the drivetrain as simple as you can possibly do it. Keep it stock and reliable, and build all your stuff around it. It's a great power plant. The axles are great. The transmission is kind of a weak point. Put a 6-liter cooler in it. I say that. My 7.3 does not have a 6-liter cooler. But, you know, just do all the really simple things. Keep that engine super simple and have fun with the rest of it. Which is exactly what I did with Bob. Started just cutting the rest of it, you know, for fun. PH Freelance, if you had to replace the transmission, then you're good, man. Yep, Oaks is right. Everything now is just plastic. It's kind of sad. It's not a plastic unibody, though. There's still steel in there. Jake Newfer, what is up, my buddy? We were chatting this week. Jake, you're the guy with starting a business selling parts, right? Remind me of that. Or you've already been doing it. Can't even think of the name of it. But Jake was messaging me this week because I was asking for a follower about the specific paw for the rear window. And he helped me out real quick. Buckeye Excursion. There it is. Sweet. So Buckeye Excursion is an Excursion parts thing. So if you guys are looking for Excursion parts, I don't know Jake. And I've got no commission or anything with him. But the dude is super nice, super quick to respond, and I like him a lot. So if you want to buy Excursion parts, Buckeye Excursion Parts, he's on Facebook and everything. Do all the things. Too quick to see. We had a great weekend, my friend. Yes, no soul, Oak. Yeah, so cool stuff. But yeah, Buckeye Excursion Parts, pretty cool guy. Like I said, when I need the really random parts, actually, I should send you some parts, Buckeye Excursion, because I've been trying to sell them, and I've now gotten to the point where I'm cutting up the rear panels, all of the interior panels, to throw them away. And I still have a box over there of like interior lights and everything. And so, or if you have somebody looking for gray parts, send them my way, because I think there's still more stuff up there I need to get rid of. Yeah, there's like the back plastics and stuff. So I need to get rid of some more stuff. I'm just throwing it away at this point. I've had it for sale on Facebook Marketplace forever, and nobody's, yeah. That's awesome. Diesel Lives Matter's got extra bad parts that can be fixed. Great. That's just what we need. Yeah, let me know, Buckeye Excursion parts, because I just have what's left over from when I chopped Bob. So I've got like all the rear lights from the front row back, or all the interior lights from the front row back. I sold the overhead console. I sold the rear heat and all that stuff years ago. I've got factory mud flaps sitting here. I've got some factory fog lights. I've got like the hooks for the clothing rack. And then I have the panels that go on the D pillars. This pillar right here on the inside. I've got those panels sitting up there still, I think. And yeah, I think I got rid of the spare tire thing. Like, there's not much left. So, but there's a couple things. Yeah, sounds good, Buckeye Excursion. Shoot me or Jake. Yeah, shoot me a message. I can just send you all the pictures. But I have to go back through what I have, because I've given things away and I've cut things up and destroyed them, and stuff happens. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, go find them. I have a couple gray parts, not a ton. I gave Jake, the other Jake that's local to me, my flaps for my second row, because I took those off. And yeah, I'm pretty much don't have a ton more. So, like I said, the big old panels that ran the whole length of the back, I've just recently started cutting up, because they were in my garage ceiling for 3 years. So I got rid of them. I sold the third row when I had it initially, and yeah, I sold all the interior, the heater and all those controls and stuff. Ooh, England and Costa Rica. Dang. Shipping is not going to be fun. But you're just doing excursions, right? Is this kind of like a side thing, or are you going to try and make this a full deal? Yeah, the big panels are way too much. They've been in my freaking ceiling for 3.5 years. And I cut the seatbelts out of them for the second row, because I had to break the bolts off for the third row seatbelts. So I didn't want to, and they wouldn't come the second row, so I didn't want to deal with it. Oh, nice. Side hustles. Great. You're a fireman out in Cleveland. Cool. Cleveland, Ohio? Is that where you said you're from? No, but it's called Buckeye Excursion Parts. That's why I was very confused. Yeah, exactly. That 50. And I didn't want to snap those bolts because I didn't want to deal with it, and I wanted those seatbelts. So I was like, I'm just going to put a little slit in the plastic so I can get this thing around the seatbelt. So yeah. So I didn't do it. Not a big deal. Cleveland, Ohio. All right, buddy. So you need to come to the next excursion event. You need to put it on your calendar. I don't have the dates yet. I'm just kidding. I don't have the dates yet. That's for serious. But the big event is going to be, it's going to be the week after Easter. Probably that weekend, probably that Thursday to Sunday type thing again. And what I'm leaning towards, where I would really like to do it, then it seems like they might be on board, is in Sand Hollow at Jellystone Adventure Park. So, just so you know what you have to do. Well, that is very exciting, Oak. Yeah. What else we got, guys? What other excursion things you got? You got to get one of them. One of them, Buckeye, or one of them, Jake. Just one. You got 8 of them. So all you need is one to be pretty decent. and bring it out. It'd be great for the company, and we'll send lots of people your way. Because coming to the event, we had 2 trucks break out of 15 that signed up. So the more that, you know. Dude, I am really impressed with my power stop. So here's a cool power stop story. So I had a caliper slightly stick, is the term I'm going to use, because I was still able to cruise down the freeway without it like jerking my steering wheel out. It just wouldn't like fully release. So I could tell it was pulling, but it wasn't really bad. I drove like 10 miles on that with it. Dieselized, those don't exist. That's a custom build. But yeah, so I drove like 10 or 15 miles with this caliper slightly sticking, and I was like, I'm burning this rotor for sure. I've got the power stop rotors on the white truck, and that rotor does not have a ounce of warp in it. It is smooth and perfect. Oh, so you bought actually the calipers and everything. Yeah, no, they're not. Yeah, he bought everything. Yeah, so I just have the pads and the rotors. I run the Napa calipers. They're actually a remanned Ford caliper. There's a Ford stamp on the Napa calipers. So that's why I bought those. Nice. Yeah, I need to buy the set for this, but the set for the 05s really doesn't exist. And when you do find it, if you just find the pads and the rotors, because I really don't need the calipers, they're all new on this truck. They're like $700. And I'm like, well, I'd like brakes, but man, that is expensive. So I haven't brought myself to put them on this truck yet. So yeah, they're too expensive. Nice. Yeah, no, this isn't an 05. This has the coil axles. So this is a 2000. So you have to buy the ones for the 17-inch wheels. So they're a different set. And the Excursion ones, dude, you should have bought them on Amazon. They're like $4.99. Hate to tell you, through my store. Come on. Yeah, so it's different, where it's like $150 more or something, or $200 more, and I just haven't been like, yeah, trigger pulled. Yeah, brake stuff, I was doing that forever. I just been impressed with the power stop. Honestly, I have power stops on my Jeep, and I'm really not impressed with them. But yeah, nice, Travis. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, yeah, so the Jeep had EBCs on it. EBCs? That my dad put on it years ago. And with the green pads, and it stopped way better than the power stops. So I have power stops on the front and those EBCs on the back now. And it's a totally different, like, it stops way worse than those EBCs. So I don't know. Yeah, that's awesome, Buckeye Excursion. Have Summit that close. Yeah, I just replace the rotors when I do them at this point. The Excursion's just, it's a lot of truck. I really need to do the brakes on Bob. I think the power stops are probably good. I just probably should pony up and do them. Probably before Trail Hero. Because it'd be nice. The problem with Bob is coming down stuff, I can't stop. Durango rotors typically. Durangos have brake problems. That's why we didn't buy one. Like back in the early 2000s, we were kind of looking at them to replace my mom's Suburban, and my dad when we had the tire shop, he was putting brakes and stuff on them, and he was like, the brakes are not big enough for that vehicle. And so we never bought a Durango. But maybe you meant the brand Durango rotors, but the Dodge Durango, terrible brakes. Yeah, because they get warped. That's why I like the Power Stop. What I like about the Power Stop is they've got those bigger lugs between them. So they've got a smaller support that goes between the two edges, and then they've got bigger ones, like every other or every 3. And those are what make it to where it doesn't warp as easily, I think. Because like I said, I got that sucker hot. I couldn't touch the brake rotor for the entire time that I was replacing the freaking caliper in the parking lot of Napa. And it was hot. Yeah, no, I know. They're pretty new. The brake hoses are a couple years old. So I bought a hose to go with the caliper when I bought it. So there's one in there now. But yeah, I know. That's always in my head. The problem is I don't want to spend any money on those axles on the white truck because I literally have 05 axles sitting in the yard to put into it. So and the 05 axles have 0 braking parts. So I have to buy all new stuff anyway. Stainless steel one, so cool. So yeah, Buckeye Excursion. On this one, I have Skyjackers, and they're super nice. They're the same type of thing. They're kind of like they're that really nice. Looks like a braided line, but it's kind of super flexible and stuff with a coating on the outside. Yeah, it's a really nice line. Yep, exactly. Diesel lives matter, and that's why I don't want to spend any money on the 50 that's in there, putting hoses and everything on it, because you need the 05 hoses to run the 05 swap. So I'm very aware. Done it. So, and this axle doesn't have anything on it, where this one came with brakes, except that I had to replace everything anyway because they sat outside for too long and the calipers were done. So I put new calipers all the way around this truck when I coil swapped it, and I ran the factory lines for a little bit, and then I got the Skyjacker, the nice Skyjacker one. They're so nice. I'm probably gonna I'm gonna see if they make them a little bit shorter for me, because they're long on this truck. And they'll be really long on the other truck. So yeah, I need all that stuff. So. All right, guys. I think that I am going to call it for the day. I appreciate the heck out of all of you. If you are local to me, I would love to have you check out the event in my Facebook events page. It is August 22nd. We're just going to hang out at my house, have a barbecue, talk about excursions, hang out about excursions. I'm probably going to do rig walkarounds of every truck that comes. And yeah, it's just going to be a nice community thing. Might go for a scenic drive. Bring your RC crawlers because I've got kind of a course set up. I'm working on more of a course. Simple Man, thank you. And yeah, appreciate that for Simple Man. Appreciate all you guys. This is great. I am super grateful to have to have a community to come and sit and talk to on live, even if people are just randomly being annoying, even though they're like people that follow the page. Anyway, I got rid of him. And yeah, so August 22nd, if you want to come and hang out, would love to have you. Need to RSVP to that though. I'm trying to actually like keep track of the numbers so I don't get like way too many people, which I don't think is going to happen, but I would appreciate all of you guys. Yeah. Thank you for hanging. Appreciate you. We will see you next week.